Hi, it's Cara, and today we are doing my December. That's what we're doing, my December wrap. Ugh. It's now the 1st of January in the afternoon, and we're going to talk about the books I read last month. So, to start us off, we should talk about this bad boy. This is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. It's huge. It's book 2 to The Diviners. I don't know what else to say because I literally just talked about it in my top 10 of 2015 video that I literally just filmed. But this is a supernatural book following a cast of characters that all have these special powers that they're called diviners, they have special powers. And they're solving like a murder mystery kind of story, but it's way more intense than that, way more extreme. I give this 5 stars. It was amazing. Blows your mind. Recommend. Pick up Diviners if you haven't picked it up already. Then I picked up these beauties. These Broken Stars, This Shattered World, and Their Fragile Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, as well as the novella This Night So Dark. These are amazing. This is the closest I've come in a while to actually marathoning something. I think I kind of did the same thing with the Raven Boys earlier in the year, where I read them all relatively close together. Normally I'm not really into that, I don't really do it. But I was keen to do it with this series because they just looked amazing. And I wanted to read them all like right then, but I know I can't properly marathon things, so I had to pace myself. So I did read books in between each of these, but man, I rated them all like 5 stars. And I filmed a review, which I will link down below if I remember. If I don't, comment, remind me, I'll link it. Amazing. So good. These are sci-fi, action adventure, romancy, gorgeous pieces of writing. Praise. But go check out my review. I read a book for review, which was Reasons to Love a Nerd Like Me by Becky Jerams. I again filmed a review of this, so I won't really talk about it that much. Pretty sure I gave it like 4 stars. It was a contemporary. It was quite fun, but there were contemporary's hard to sell me. So there were things that I didn't absolutely love about it, but I don't really care. Like, it was still really good, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's a queer romance, but I'll talk about, there is much more information in my review video, so I'll also link that down below. I also read another review book, which is Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley. This is a Jane Eyre, no, not Jane. This is a Bronte sisters story, also following their brother, and is to celebrate the 100 years of Bronte. There's a celebration going on, and I really enjoyed it. I also have a review, which I'll link down below. I gave this one 5 stars. Then we have The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. This is book 2 in the Remnant Chronicles. The first one being Because of Deception, which its gimmick is that there are 2 boys, one is an assassin and one is a prince, and you don't know which is which in the romance. This one went so far beyond that, but I can't really talk about it because it's a sequel. All I have to say is I loved it. With these books, I find the start a bit meh. Like, I struggle to get into it, but then by the end I'm like, which was exactly the same with this one as was with the first one. But by the end I loved it. I read this on a train and it was my jam, okay? It was so good. 4.5 stars, I believe, just because the start is slow. Then I read Rebel Spring, which is another book 2. I read Falling Kingdoms in November and really enjoyed it. Again, I read it on the train, I believe. Let's check I'm not just making things up as I go along. Yeah, so I read this last month, or did I read this one on a train? Maybe I read this one on a train. Anyway, I read one of these on a train as well. It had to have been the last one, I swear. The first one. These is going to be a 6-book fantasy series that's gimmicked as, promoted as Game of Thrones for young adult. And I guess it's kind of that, but I think because I had that in my mind, I was kind of generally disappointed a little bit with these. Only a little bit. Like, I wanted it to be here, like, out of this frame. And it was here, like, just in the frame. Good, great even. I think I gave them about 4.5 stars each, both of them, but this one, because this is the one I read this month. But, yeah, there's something lacking. Maybe it's the simpleness of the political intrigue. Like, I love the characters, I love the action, but maybe just the political plot lines aren't quite there for me where I expected them to be because of the Game of Thrones references, because the politics is what I love about Game of Thrones. But it was great. Great fun. Much like. And I would definitely pick up the rest of this series, as well as the prequel novels. I was going to say novellas, but they're not. They're full novels. There's only one out so far. I believe they're a prequel. I want to pick them up too. Then I read Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. This is the third and final book in the Miss Peregrine's trilogy. These are just amazing. I found this one probably to be the best. The action was much faster. I didn't have big chunks of boredom, which I felt with the other ones. But this was so much faster paced, so much more was happening. And the ending was great. So yes, I love this. Probably it was a balance between the action working well and the photos working well. Like, I think because it integrates photos into its storyline, and I feel like the photos in this one didn't blend so well, but the actual action was way better. So I think I gave this 4.5 stars as well, but possibly 5. You do realize in these wrap-ups I just pull numbers out of thin air, right? I don't check what I put on Goodreads, but around 4.55. Then we have The Silver Horse by Kate Forsyth. This is book 2 in the Chain of Charm series, which is a middle grade magical realism historical fiction series set around gypsies in Cromwell's reign. This is great fun. Like, they're so easy. It took me like half a day to read. Engaging, entertaining, great. I'm excited to pick up the rest of this series, which I'm going to do in 2016. And I also want to seek out Kate Forsyth's adult series as well, because I think it will be amazing. Then I read, oh, by the way, these 3, Library of Souls, Silver Horse, and this next one, Molly Moon and the Monster Music by Georgia Byng, were all read for the Cramathon. I couldn't do a Cramathon wrap-up. I got really busy right at the time when it was ending, so I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't find the time. But I'm talking about it now, okay? This is Molly Moon and the Monster Music. This is another middle grade series that I read most of when I was a kid, except for this newest one. This is book 6. I reckon it was the least of my favorite. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was a little bit preachy, talking a lot about, like, saving the whales and being a good person, and yeah, those were kind of themes, not saving the whales, but being a good person in the last books. This one seemed particularly preachy, or maybe that's just because I'm older. I liked it. It was nostalgic, but I didn't love it. And then we had a reread, which took me forever. I think I was super busy, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I wanted to read this and book 3, but I never got to book 3 because I got busy. Then Christmas happened. But I finished this Christmas Eve. 5 stars as always. It's Harry Potter. It's great. Loved it. And then finally, technically this morning, but Goodreads counted it as December, so I'm counting it as December, I read Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman. This is historical fiction set during World War II, following Gretchen, who is the adopted niece of Hitler, kind of. Her father was good friends with Hitler, and she grew up around Hitler, and a Jewish reporter who she falls in love with. I believe this is a duology, making this book 2 and the final book. It felt like that. It wrapped up really well, but originally I thought it was a trilogy, so who knows, I could just be pulling stuff out of thin air. But this was good. I don't like the prose so much in these. I find them a little bit meh in the writing style, but the historical moments and how they interweave with the story is genius. So I gave this 4 stars overall because you can't fault its historical aspects, and they're just great. Overall enjoyable, much fun, really loved, great. So these are the books that I read in the month of December. I'm really excited. I felt like this was a good reading month. There were some things I didn't like that much, but there were some things I absolutely loved, which was a really good balance. I'm using my chin to balance. It was great. If you've read any of these books, comment down below and tell me what you thought. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, etc., etc. I know this one wasn't as, hopefully this is not as long as my normal wrap-ups. I'm trying to cut back a little bit, film some more reviews during the month so I can film a shorter wrap-up, even though I'm reading the same amount of books. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if for any reason you didn't like it. If I didn't talk enough about things, let me know. Because when I make a change, I like feedback. So other than that, I hope you're having an amazing new year. And I'll see you soon with my January TBR. Bye!